thank all of you for joining us today. So I'm going to ask each of you a couple questions, and then we can continue the discussion. All right, so first I'm going to go over to you, Safa, if that's all right. I'd be very interested to hear, if you can tell us anything about India in terms of religious persecution and what it looks like today, especially something that perhaps our audience will not have heard, something unique that international audiences just aren't aware of.
Sure. So I can actually tell you two stories. One of them occurred very recently, the other not so recently, and it's more of a story of aborted justice. Because there are two main groups that bear the brunt of religious persecution under the government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi today, and those two groups are Indian Muslims and Indian Christians. So I'll start with telling you what happened recently. There was a video that went viral on Twitter that was taken around the Christmas season. So of course, when you think about Christmas, you think it must be festive for everyone, regardless of where they are in the world. At least that's the way it should be. But you have this video that went viral of a man from a Hindu militant group. There are several Hindu militant groups that are active, massive groups in India operating today. This man is from the Bajrang Dal, which is the name of one of the larger Hindu militant groups in India. And this man was walking down a street in public, recording himself saying, "Along with the staff of the Bajrang Dal, I carry 4 nails and a hammer. If anyone wishes me Merry Christmas, I will kill him and make him Jesus Christ. Remember that." The second story I want to share, and I'll share it very briefly, is the story of a woman who has been denied justice for decades now. In 2002, a woman named Bilkis Bano was gang raped by 11 Hindu militant men, and her 3-year-old daughter was murdered in front of her. This happened in the North Indian state of Gujarat, which was at the time being, it was ruled by Narendra Modi as chief minister of the state at the time. Several years later, in 2022, the Gujarat High Court, in collaboration with the Supreme Court of India, had all 11 of her rapists released. And how did those people come back out into society? They weren't met with universal disdain, as you might imagine. Instead, their supporters put flower garlands around their necks and celebrated them. And a member of Modi's ruling party came out and said publicly, "These people have good religious character." While those men were returned to prison after international outrage, Bilkis Bano and the 1,000+ victims of the Gujarat pogrom that happened in 2002 are yet to see justice in a tangible form because the man who orchestrated that violence sits as prime minister today.
That's a harrowing story. I mean, if there's only one positive piece to pull out of that is the fact that the outcry did actually return some of those individuals to prison, but that's sometimes what it takes to actually have any kind of positive come out of this, I imagine. Thank you very much. So we have just a few minutes left. I'm going to ask each of you one more question, but they're going to have to be pretty quick answers, if that's all right. Safa, to start with you, so in the United States, we often frame India as the world's largest democracy. We also see it as a very important strategic partner, especially when it comes as a counterweight for China or because of its economic potential. Can you tell us how those facts make it actually harder to acknowledge religious persecution?
Sure. So I think the short answer here is, does India see itself as the world's largest democracy? And from the perspective of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government, absolutely not. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government operates under the ideology known as Hindutva or Hindu nationalism, which in very simple terms means that these people do not believe that India should be a secular democracy with the right to religious freedom, as it has been since its inception. India should be a Hindu nation governing with special privileges for Hindus. And that is why right now Freedom House ranks India as a partly free country, not as a free democracy. If you look at what's happening on the ground in India today, please feel free to stop me if I'm going over. But if you look at who is sitting in jails right now, it's not the people who are going around enacting Modi's ideology. It's people who are prisoners of conscience, usually Muslims and Christians, who are speaking out against the government, students, professors, activists. You see that people are forbidden to, or let me phrase this differently, conversion to Islam and Christianity is criminalized in at least 12 Indian states because the government of of the BJP has passed laws that make it extremely difficult for people to convert out of the Hindu faith. And what does that allow mobs to do? It allows them to go and lynch people, destroy mosques, attack churches where prayer services are being held. Very recently, there was a graphic image going around online of a pastor being forced to eat cow dung simply because he was doing what pastors do, practicing his faith. These people are allowed to walk away with just a slap on the wrist, if even that, because the judiciary is compromised in India as well. The media has been compared to Radio Rwanda since 2022. The northeast Indian state of Manipur has been burning since 2022 with ethnic violence between the Hindu majority Meitei group, yeah, sorry, I think I got that right, and the Christian majority Kukizo. Modi refused to visit his own burning state in India until 2 years after the violence began exploding across that state. Only after 60,000 people were displaced, hundreds were killed, and over 300 places of worship burned. And just this month, the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum's early warning project said that India is fourth at risk globally, ahead of Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Nigeria of intrastate violence. USERF has been recommending India as a CPC since 2020 and will definitely continue to repeat its recommendation this year, which will make it the 7th year in a row. So the answer, the long and short to that question is, if Saudi Arabia and Pakistan can be designated as CPCs, despite being American partners, why not India in light of all of this evidence?
Well said. Thank you, Safa.